Good morning, dear listeners. This is So Very Wrong About Games. We are a board gaming podcast, but today we are streaming. We are streaming The Magnificent. My name is Michael Walker, and I'm here with my good friends.
Hello, I'm Mark.
Hello, I'm Jimbo.
And I'm Joe.
So first we're going to get a complete rundown from Mark, because none of us but him have played this game before. And we're going to get right into it. How is everyone this morning?
Well, I feel pretty magnificent.
Ecstatic.
Sigh.
Yeah. This is professional level broadcasting here. All right, so this game is called The Magnificent. This is about running. This is about being carnies, running carnival shows in the 1920s. So, at the start of the game, we are each going to draft a trainer tile and do some initial shenanigans, but more on that later. The game is going to last 3 rounds. In each round, each of us is going to take 4 actions. At the top of the round, we are going to refresh these displays with new cards. These cards are going to be called Master Cards, and they are functionally similar to the 4 Master Cards each of us has started out with. We're also going to get trainer tiles, which go down here, and the trainer tiles are going to be functionally similar to a trainer tile that we're all going to draft at the start of the game. There are also going to be posters. These are the shows that we're going to try to put on, and we're going to start with one poster, which is among the baby starting poster cards. We're going to get one of those at the start of the game, and then they're going to be, well, generally speaking, slightly better and or more difficult posters that we draft over the course of the game. When it is your turn, you draft a die, and we're going to roll all these dice at the top of every round, and dice come in 3 colors plus white dice, which are wild. And when you draft a die, what you do is you put it on one of your master cards that doesn't already have a die on it. So it's kind of like a worker space-ish. And the top half of the master card will influence or give you some bonus for the action that's coming up. So, for example, if you want to come take a look at my master cards over here next to the yellow player board. So they're all reasonably straightforward. When I go here, I get a white crystal sometime during my turn. That's what that icon means. If I place a die here, I get $1. That's what dollars look like. Then there are ones that actually modify the action in question. If I place a die over here, if it is a blue die, I get to increase its value by 2. I get to pretend as though it's 2 higher than it actually is. This one over here, the color matching is not, shall we say, awesome. This one over here instead lets me take a die of any color and change it to whatever face I want. The difference between these 2 cards will become clear later. Long story short, at the end of the round, I have to pay for my dice. This one just gives me 2 extra value on a die for free, whereas this one I'm going to have to pay for whatever it ends up being, likely.
Mark needs to have that title for us to take away from
Then
him.
I get to do some action. There are 3 actions in the game. One of them is to travel. Send your carnival around to various spots in, let's say, Mars? Mars. Carnival's on Mars. Mars, Venus, and, I don't know, Pluto?
The cold, unforgiving pit of the void.
Thank you, Jimbo. But we wouldn't want to intrude on your home. Hey!
Rude.
I'll be here all week. Another action we can do is to build tents, which we get to expand our little carnival setup. And the final kind of action we can do is to put on shows, which is where we satisfy posters that we have. So I'll talk about travel first. When you sock a die, what you will do is you will move the corresponding track, red, green, or purple, let's say blue, clockwise up to that many spaces. So if I sock away a red 4, I can move this red caravan piece up to 4 spaces clockwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will end up on that 4th space, namely the space over here. Now, the relevance of this is you get whatever crystals you pass over. So in this particular example, continuing it, if I move those 4 spaces, I would get a red crystal, I would get a green crystal, and I would get another red crystal. So two red crystals and a green. By the way, red and orange are interchangeable for this mod. You're just going to have to roll with it. Sorry about that. There's not much I can do. Now, crystals go onto your main mat, and we each start with 1 of each color crystal. You can only hold 3 per color. If you try to get a fourth of any color, you instead get $1 straight from the bank. You cannot sell crystals voluntarily. This is just what happens if you get excess crystals. Why do we care about crystals? Well, a number of reasons. A variety of things cost crystals, but one thing that should be understood right away is that when you're socking away a die, you can immediately spend crystals of the appropriate color, and for each crystal you spend, you increase the value of the die by 2. This is an illusory version, so you don't actually tick the die up. It just counts as being 2 higher. So, for example, continuing on my previous example, putting a blue die over here on this action space, if I put a blue die on this action space and say its value were 3, it would automatically count as 5. I could spend a blue to turn that into 7. I could keep spending crystals, turn it into 9, 11, whatever I wanted. White crystals are wild. They can be used to increase any die value. Furthermore, when I'm socking, I'm sorry, I should have covered all this right away when I was talking about socking dice. When you're socking dice, you always add all the dice of the same color to your placement. So, for example, let's say I have this die over here. I did my action with it before. It's a 2. I then take this die and I put it over here. This die by itself counts as 2, plus 2 for the bonus of the card, plus 2 because I already have a blue there already. So count a total of 6. If I then took this blue and put it over here, it would start out at 9, because that's just how many blues I have. White dice, much like white crystals, are wild, and you count whatever bonuses are appropriate from existing colors. If I was using this die as blue, it would count as a 9 blue. However, then when I subsequently place another die over here, I don't ever get to count the white as anything. Whites only get their bonuses when they're placed. They don't contribute to other dice later on.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Sorry for not covering that earlier. My apologies. Normally I'm much more organized at these things. So, returning back. You sock a die, you get a value. You get to move clockwise a certain number of spaces if you are choosing the travel action, and you move the caravan of the appropriate color. You get whatever crystals you pass over. Furthermore, you get any posters you pass over. Posters are hidden underneath the tent tiles. These circular things are tent tiles. Once this tent tile has been taken, more on that in just half a second, it unleashes a poster underneath. And so if you pass over the space, you get a poster of your choice from the available posters on the display. You can draft one of the face-up cards or take the top one off the top of the deck. More on
Only
posters
once
later.
the tent tile's been removed.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So how do we get tent tiles? Brilliant question. I'm glad you asked. You can get a tent tile if you end the token's movement on the tent tile, in which case you get whatever crystals and posters you passed over. You then claim the tent tile, and it is yours. Remember, you are not obliged to move the full maximum distance that whatever die you socked away allowed you to. So if you're entitled to 27 spaces of movement, you can stop earlier and grab a tent. Tents go onto your player board. If you look along the top of your player board, in the upper left-hand corner, you already have a tent. It is pre-printed. You cannot ever cover it up. There are spaces up top for other tents. You can put the tent on whatever space you want, and you immediately get whatever bonus you cover up. If you look on my board, this tent over here, when I cover it, I get $2. Then there's 2 white crystals. This is a thing you don't understand yet, and this is 4 points. The goal of the game is to get tickets. That is why tickets are points, and points are tickets. Tents also serve to ground posters. Again, more on posters later. It'll all be clear eventually. Posters are what bring everything together. They're like the dude's rug before it was urinated on. So, any questions about traveling?
No.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about construction.
What are the COVID constrictions on traveling?
Too soon, too real. But fortunately, although members of the OPP will hassle you, members of the Toronto, Peel, Hamilton, London, Ottawa, and Toronto police will not pull you over for, unless, of course, well, in theory. So, that is traveling. The second kind of action you can do, alternatively, is construction. Construct, that's the little sort of, yeah, it's that icon exactly, the weird sort of walking. It's supposed to be a hammer, but it looks to me like a walking stick.
It's a pipe.
It's a pipe? What are you smoking? So you determine the value of the die, and you look over at this chart on the left-hand side of your board, and it tells you what you're allowed to build. There are 2 kinds of buildings, small buildings and big buildings. Small buildings occupy 4 spaces. Big buildings occupy 6 spaces. You're not obliged to use the result that you get. You can go to a lower result. Say, for the sake of argument, you get a 7, but you only want 1 big building. Well, you can go down to a 5. That's fine. and then you build buildings matching the color of the die you socked away. So let's say for the second, again, I sock away a blue. Let's say I sock away a blue and it entitles me to 9. That is a big blue, which is one of these, and a little blue, which is one of these. The first building you build can go wherever you want on your mat. Subsequent buildings always have to touch orthogonally to it. They can be rotated and flipped as you wished, as you wish. And when they cover something, you get the thing you cover: money, points, crystals, stuff like that. These buildings are good for both the bonuses you get right away and for satisfying the requirements of posters. I know posters are what everyone's been talking about. It's the talk of the town. I'll be getting to them very shortly. The only bonus that you don't immediately understand from these icons is this gives you a new what's called a trainer. These are these pylons. You get another pylon if you cover the pylons. I'll talk about pylons later. Your pylons are in your bags. They're called trainer.
We got pylons at work too, but they're not the trainers.
Management, right?
Yeah. So onward to DOMGOT. Posters. So we start with one, as I say, a starting poster over here. Posters can go wherever you want on top of your board, but you can only satisfy posters if they are above a tent. That is why we want tents. It allows us to satisfy more posters. So let's take a look at some of these starting posters. I will flip them over and let's take a look. Here's a couple.
Posters have to be dry, right? So they gotta have
what?
tent.
Oh, sure, yeah. So the posters allow the performance of various magnificent people. This is the magnificent Suhail. This is the magnificent the magnificent Suhail, everyone. Let's give a round of applause for the magnificent Suhail.
Woo, Suhail!
We love Suhail. Some posters require that you pay some number of crystals when you satisfy them, but all of them require some buildings. In order for Suhail to perform, Suhail requires that he has a small orange tent. Suhail has very particular requirements. It's in his contract rider. If you try to serve him brown M&Ms, he will walk. This is the magnificent Suhail we're talking about. He doesn't perform at any podunk kind of anyway. The magnificent, let's call her lunging. Luigi, the magnificent Luigi. Thank you very much. The magnificent Luigi requires a large blue building in order to perform. When you do the perform action, what you do is you determine the value of your die, and you take. We're each going to have a top hat, indicating player order on the board. Oh, look at these unhelpful snap points. Oh wow, that's bad. Walker, did you move this board at all?
I did not.
Wow, these are unhelpful snap points. Okay. Oh, I see. They were arranged so that you can actually read what's on the track. Very nice. So, let's say I determine that my final value is, say, 7. All right? That allows me to go up to 6, because there is no 7. There's a 6 and an 8. And what that entitles me to do is satisfy one poster. Because if I'd gotten to an 8, I could satisfy 2 posters at once. 10 is 2 posters, 12 is 3 posters at once, so on and so forth.
But you fail, so you only can do 1 poster.
Yes. I still can't say her name properly, so I can't introduce her. Yeah. Yeah, I know there's a good reason behind the M&M Van Halen story. It's just funny. So, in order to satisfy the requirements, you need to have the buildings. They don't get burned or anything. Well, unless Suhail has a bad night. And if you satisfy multiple posters, you have to have the buildings for all of them collectively. So if you have 2 posters that each require a small orange, to do both of them at the same time, you need 2 small oranges somewhere in your tent. And they both have to be over on your fairgrounds, rather.
Yeah, don't even think about asking them to perform in the same tent. How dare you?
Yeah. Cool.
These people are artists.
It's true. And again, they both have to be over tents. You then score. Some of them require you to spend crystals at this time. They'll say so on the card. You then score whatever's on the card plus whatever's on the crystal. So let's continue with Suhail, because why would we ever not want to? He's on my board over here, and I do the performance because I do the perform action, and I have the buildings required. I would get 2 points from the card, and I would get $2 from the tent. And the card completed poster goes over here because there's some things that care about completed posters. That is how posters work. They are a key source of points. Any questions? Excellent. After everyone has done 4 actions, we then proceed to the end of the round. The way the end of the round proceeds is we determine... Oh, by the way, if you perform again in the same round, you leave your previous hat where it was, and you take out your other hat on your board and you put it in the other space. You cannot go to a space that is occupied by somebody else. So if I've taken the 4, nobody else can go to the 4. I've done it.
If
So
we have a value
generate...
4, do we get to jump over you, or are we just stuck?
You're stuck. In this case, if you would have to generate at least 6 in order to perform.
Gotcha.
5 and lower will not get you anywhere. Then what happens is all the markers just shift down, and this is going to be the turn order for the next round. However, in reverse turn order for the next round, in other words, whoever performed best at the highest level will get to draft a combination MasterCard / trainer card. Trainer tile. Trainer tiles you still don't understand yet. MasterCards you do. They're the things that provide you these things. You will then have 5 MasterCards after drafting one of them. You choose one of them to score, and it leaves the game. Then you'll have 4 cards going into the next round for your 4 actions. So each MasterCard, in addition to a top bonus, has a scoring condition at the bottom. So, for example, returning to my MasterCards, this one is 5 points per tent you have. This one is 1 point per square in the largest rectangle of blue buildings that I have. So, in this particular example that's printed on the card, if I had a 3x4 rectangle of solid blue buildings, I would score 12 points, but to a maximum of 20 based on the card. This
and
card
it's not
down here,
1 point per small building? Because isn't that the small square, the symbol for small buildings?
No, it's a different. It's literally per square on the grid that is occupied.
Gotcha.
This one is 3 points per small building. And this one is 4 points per different color performer that I have completed. Posters have a color associated with them. Like the Magnificent Larissa over here, who appears to be some kind of cat, is green. They have icons as well at the bottom. Parenthetically, to return back to the performing action, the color of die you use to perform is entirely irrelevant. It does not matter at all, much like your face.
Rude.
And you're also going to get a trainer tile. The trainer tile is going to go on your board. So let's talk about trainers, because that's the last thing we need to cover before going final scoring. At any time during your turn, you may use your trainer pylons on any set of trainer tiles you want. And they will provide some kind of bonus or thing. There are some spaces that are printed on the board that anyone can use. At the end of your turn, whatever pylons you used are supposed to sit, on the board, but there's no room because there's all these dice. It's going to sit over here until the end of the round, at which point you get them all back. In other words, these pylons can only be used once, but the worker spaces that they go to are not blocked for subsequent turns. They're just continuously cleared. This is true of your board as well. So this top one up here allows you you put down one worker and you may exchange any number of posters you have with any number of other posters that are available in the supply. So you can just cycle your posters.
And is there any particular reason it's linked to the perform track?
Yes, because... Oh, I'm sorry. I've mischaracterized the nature of the action. My apologies. Yes, it is linked to the perform track. You do this when you're performing. Sorry, it doesn't allow you to junk your posters. What it does is it allows you to rearrange your posters on top of your board. So if you have a poster on top of a blank space and you'd rather it be on top of one of your tents, you can do that. This you do when you're building, and it allows you to ignore the color building requirements of building a building. So say you use a green die to build, but you want a blue building and an orange building. Well, you need 2 trainers. You pop them here, and you can build whatever you want. Well, assuming, of course, the die is value high enough.
And you need 2 trainers because it's the plus next to the...
No, you need 2 trainers because I gave an example of violating the color restrictions twice. It's 1 trainer per building you want to change color.
Gotcha.
So say I socked away a green die that's high enough and I wanted a green building and a blue building, I'd only need one trainer because I only need the green building I'm entitled to. So
Right.
This you can do in conjunction with any action, spend any number of trainers, and spend $2 per poster you want to take. This is another way to get posters. This you do when traveling. It allows you to go counterclockwise instead of clockwise.
Neat.
This is in conjunction with any action. It allows you to flip the die over to its other side. 1 becomes a 6, 6 becomes a 1, 2 and 5 swap places, etc. Now, I did mention you had to pay for your dice. This happens at the end of every round. We start with $6. Money is primarily good for paying your because Walker loves feeding his workers. This is going to be your favorite part, Walker.
Sweet.
What you have to do is you pay the highest sum based on the colors that you have up there. So you don't pay for every die. You only pay for the color in which you have the highest sum. So I've got a blue 5 and a blue 6 and a green 2 and an orange 3. I have to pay $11 because I've got 11 value in blue.
Oof.
Mark, I don't
Big
have
oof.
that much money.
That's a big oof.
Well,
What do I do?
hold on. You also have to pay for all your white dice, regardless of. So you pay for the highest color and then all your white. If white happens to be your highest color, well then you still pay for your other highest color. White isn't really a color in this game. Allow me to stress.
Sorry.
If you don't have, Yeah.
white, you pay for it in addition to having to pay for the
Yes.
sum of the highest. Okay. Thank you.
but if white happens to be my highest sum, like let's say this example, if this is what I have at the end of the turn, I pay 8 for my white and 3 for my red.
Gotcha.
So my total exposure is 11. This exposure goes to 11. If you can't pay, you lose points. The amount of points you lose is on a chart up here in the upper left-hand corner of the board. In the first round, you lose 1 point per dollar you're short. In the second round, 2. Third round, 3. So don't do it.
Oof.
I don't
Big
recommend it.
oof.
Yeah, I mean, the scores do tend to get pretty high, but just don't do it. At the very end of the game, there is a rather considerable end game scoring. At the end of 3 rounds, we do the same rigmarole. We pay. At the end of the round, in addition to scoring the full value of one of your 5 MasterCards, and that MasterCard leaves the game, you then score all your remaining 4 MasterCards at half value rounded up. Sorry, rounded down.
Okay.
So all of them will score. You then get 1 point for every $5. And finally, you get 4 points for every sector of your board you have completely covered with buildings. So keep that in mind when building. Bonus points. That's the game. Any questions?
When do we break out the tiny sticks?
There are no tiny sticks, no Nausicaans either. I rewatched that episode. I'm not going to go out and call Captain Picard a racist, but he definitely seemed to be harboring some prejudice against Nausicaans. Now, I mean, granted, one of them almost killed him, but still.
I mean, I tend to have some pretty complex feelings about people who stab me through the heart from behind. Walker.
Oh, his feelings didn't seem to be complex. So, to start,
Jim,
everyone
the
grab.
court order said you were not
Sorry?
to speak of that. Again.
Quickly, Mark, could you just go over again how boats work?
Thank you, Joe. So everyone take one of these starting posters and put it over your starting tent. I have it gets to go face up.
I win. I drew the Magnificent Suhail.
No,
I don't know.
A magical armadillo, so I win.
Yeah, Walker has a magic armadillo. I think he wins.
A magic armadillo. I am so jealous.
Yes. Wow. That's hot. So the remaining random posters are removed from the game. We have our starting setup, namely one of each gem, $6, 1 trainer, and a couple of hats. We are going to randomly determine a start player. I will roll this die. I will start with myself and increment in 1 going clockwise. So I'm the start player. Conveniently.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
well, yeah, okay. Yeah. So
Sir,
that means that black is second, then Walker with blue. Oh, that's weird. Snap points are all over the place. Well, this is going to be exciting. Does anyone know how to disable snap points?
I do not.
All right. Well, this will work unless it doesn't. And we are going to draft a starting trainer tile in reverse player order. So starting with Joe, and then going around, we get to. So to explain them, this one is reasonably straightforward. Put a trainer there, get a white crystal. Put a trainer here. When you are traveling, add 3 to the effective value of your die. Whoa, that's one. That's not one I can immediately parse. Fortunately, I have the rulebook right in front of me.
When you're doing a perform action, you can draw another poster?
No. Some camp tiles have requirements. So if you look over here at this camp tile, right, this tent tile rather, right over here. When you are doing a performance over it, you have to spend a clear crystal, and in addition to whatever the poster gives you 7 points. What this thing does, this trainer tile, it allows you to ignore the camp tile requirements.
Hot.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. That is not what it does. Sorry. Yeah. It allows you to ignore one building requirement on a poster you're about to perform.
Oh, neat. So, like, I could, for example, have the Magnificent Suhail perform just period.
In the street, yes.
Cool.
That is exactly right.
How rude.
And this one can be used when performing to pretend as though your die were too higher than it is. Now note, specifically for the ones that, say give you a crystal or increase the value of the die, there's only one picture of a trainer token there. That means you cannot use it multiple times in the same turn. You can use it multiple times in the round because it'll clear at the end of every turn. But you can't, put 3 there all at once and increase the value of a die by 6, say.
Gotcha.
So, Joe, as last in turn order, you get the one of your choice. It goes in your mat right where exactly where you put it. Walker, which one would you like? Jimbo, which one would you like? All. Then, I believe that is all the resources we are entitled to. Yes. So now we fill up the display board. We get a MasterCard in each of these things, no Visa. My parents were right. I shouldn't have gone into broadcasting.
You do have a face for radio.
The recurring joke that I've used, about which I'm quite proud. No, that doesn't go there. I have a face for radio and a voice for blogging.
It is a good joke.
Any questions? Do people want me to give a rundown about how these cards work first? Sure, why not? So, starting with the MasterCards. Again, they each have a bonus and a scoring condition. This allows you to burn a trainer from the game that you have to build a small green when you do it. And at the end of the game, it'll score for all your small greens. Synergy. This gives you a green crystal and scores for your largest green rectangle, very much like the other one did. This gives you 2 to your orange die and scores for your small orange buildings. This gives you $1 and scores for all your small buildings. Going up to the trainers, this allows you to spend allocate rather 2 trainers, and then you double whatever bonus you get from any tent placement you get as a result of that travel. Remember, you get a bonus every time you place a tent marker when you cover something up on your board, so that would double it. This allows you to add 2 to the value of your die when you're building. This allows you to allocate 2 trainers when building, and you double all the bonuses you get when building this turn. Oh, sorry, by 1 of the camp tiles. You double all the bonuses from 1 of the camp tiles you build. And this relates to performance. And for each trainer you allocate, you get to... you only get 1 trainer allocation. You get 1 point per poster you complete this turn. That doesn't seem very good. The tiles are not meant to be balanced against each other, by the way, because we all draft them in a specific order. Anyway. And that is how we play DOMGOT.
When is the stabbing?
Any questions? The stabbing is not considered traditional tournament-style DOMGOT. For that, you need Newfoundland free rules.
Ah, man.
Okay, well, I'm the star player, so I better get busy. And let's roll these dice.
Mark, I have a quick question about one of my cards.
Absolutely, sir.
The top right one.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That fill a quadrant and get 8 points?
No, it is copy one of your other MasterCard bonuses. And the scoring condition is get points.
Okay.
So it's relatively straightforward.
Fair enough.
Does anybody else have questions about their building requirements? MasterCard elements.
I'm assuming the bottom left one is either re-roll the die or turn it to whatever die face I want.
No, turn it to whatever die face you want as you place it.
Yeah, my upper left. What's the scoring?
You get 7 points per row you've completed on your building board.
Gotcha, to a maximum of 3.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Cool.
All right, what am I doing with my life? I would like to build... Actually, no. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take this blue 2. I'm going to sock it over here. That gets me a clear crystal for my troubles. And I'm going to use it to travel. And I'm going to use it to travel over here. I have to move the blue one because it's blue. I get the tent tile, and I also get a blue crystal because I passed over it. And I am going to use it to cover this space, which gets me another Master Trainer. And a blue/purple crystal. And yeah, that's it for me. Any questions about what I did?
Nope. And then it's me?
All right. Yes.
Okay.
It is black, whoever black is.
That's me. Although for some reason I'm white, but my pieces are black.
Why should there be any color matching?
It's very complicated.
Except I start now.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this 3 green and put it on my build.
No, you put it on a MasterCard.
Ah, okay.
And it can do it. It can absolutely build. You get one of the bonuses. I mean, when in doubt, get some money.
Yes. I'm going to take this green.
Okay.
And gain a money.
Uh-huh.
Money.
Money's it.
Gain a money. And then with that one, I'm going to move the green train one space.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put the tent here and get 2 more money.
All right. Next up is Walker. What's your pleasure?
I will take the red 3 and do a travel action and get $1.
And a green and a red crystal, as well as the tent, if you want it.
I will put the tent there. That gets
And
me.
I think someone
said
flips the tent.
a red and a green is what you said?
Yes. Yes, because that's what you passed over on the track.
Where do we get trainers from?
They are in your bag over here.
Gotcha.
They can just join your existing trainer.
And
Joe, what's your pleasure?
Okay, I think I want the green 4, which is actually a green 6 now,
Yes.
and I move the green school bus 6 spots
Up to 6.
up to, which would get me
You can
1,
stop earlier.
3, 4, 5, 6.
A
2
whole
green
mess of crystals.
crystals, a blue
Yeah.
crystal, and a red crystal, and the tent at the end.
2 blue, a red, and a green. No, sorry.
No,
green.
2 green, a blue, and a red. And it also gives you this tent, which can go on any tent space you want. And that gets you $2. Let's see here. What do I need to... Oh, sorry. We should have posters. My apologies. So many more magnificent people. Interesting. Okay. I am going to build. I'm going to take this blue 5. I'm going to send it over here. The card turns it into 7, and this 2 over here turns it into a 9. That entitles me to a large blue and a small blue building. Again, if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Say that again.
Okay, so I'm building. I took a blue 5. The 5 turns into 7 because of the MasterCard.
Which becomes
the
9
7
because...
Which becomes 9 because of that. Looking at the chart on the left-hand side, a 9 entitles me to a small and a big. And it's blue, so I get a small and a big blue.
Perfect.
Is that all good? And I am going to build this one over here. That gets me 2 poster cards right away as part of the placement bonus. I would very much like the Magnificent Albric, who is going to go over here. It is immediately refreshed. And additionally, I think I would like this Lungile, who unfortunately has no poster to live over. So she just goes over there. And I place the small one. It's going to go over here, which gets me $2 covering. And that is my turn.
Do you need a dice of a specific color for a perform action?
Perform action is the only one where the color makes no difference at all.
Okay, thank you. Gonna travel. The red car. So I get 2 red crystals and a blue crystal. And a thing. Which I'm going to put here to get another trainer. And I spend a crystal for $2. I think that's what the MasterCard lets me do.
Yes. Lets you sell a crystal. Once.
Yep. And I am done.
Walker, what's your pleasure?
Taking this green 3 to do a build. Green 3, which technically is a 4, but I'm just going to use it as a 3, is a small square, which will go here, which entitles me to 2 poster cards.
Remember, where they go, you will not be able to rearrange until such time as after you do a performance action. Or when you do a performance action, you spend trainers. So if you want one to go over that poster, over that tent, you do it now.
Done.
Okay. Joe.
Other than fighting Walker, can we refresh the performance deck?
Sure. No.
All right. I think I want to. So in order to build, I need 9 points.
Well, it depends what you want to build.
I want to build a small building and a large building. So I think I need to take the green 6.
Okay.
Thank you. Put it there. So I have 6 plus 2 is 8. And then a green gem gives me...
No. 6 plus 4 is 10. Where did you get the 2?
Oh, sorry. I thought this was a value of 2 generically. Sorry, my bad. So 10. So that's enough for the large and small.
100%.
Or you could spend 2 crystals and get 2 large.
I am
He
good.
just wants it small.
No,
He's a man of modest needs.
Just making sure the rule is clear.
So I get 2 posters.
Okay.
$2 and a gem.
Okay. While you draft those, I'm going to place this die. It was a 4, but I'm placing it on the card that says turn it to any value. I'm turning it into a 5.
Just Mark, just as a quick aside.
Yes.
Are you
yes.
I'm not saying you don't, but could it be that you don't actually turn it? You just count it as being as the other value? That
No,
way you would save money. Okay.
You absolutely turn it. That's why, because it is more flexible. That's how they're balanced against each other, right? This only counts against a certain color, but you get it for free. This, you actually turn it to the value. That's also why they have the little arrows.
Gotcha.
Because you physically turn it to the value.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend a green gem. And sorry, go ahead, Joe.
The position of the buildings on the card, are they required to be in that?
No.
No? Okay. So
No.
My green and purple don't have to actually be in that configuration?
Correct. They just have to be somewhere. It's just a list. It's effectively just a list.
God, Walker, you touch my board once more, I must smack your hand.
You can hit L to lock them in place too, Joe, if you want. Or maybe
Perfect.
You can't. Maybe because you're not, I'll lock them in for you.
Do I get a turn now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I spent a crystal to turn my 5 into a 7. That lets me get 2 small buildings. I want only one of them to be green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allocate one of my trainers over here to let me change the color of one of the buildings I'm building. That gets me a small green and a small blue. And the way I'm going to build them is so, which gives me a poster and a trainer. I will immediately use that poster to give me an extra clear because I'm not spending the trainers I got.
Where do you get money in this joint?
With great difficulty. Some posters give you money. This trainer I also used also gets cleared up to that area, and the green is going to. Wow. Not a lot of good options.
Wow.
Calm down. I'm going to go over here. It gives me a clear crystal, but I'm full up on clear crystals, so instead I get $1. And then we proceed to Jimbo after I take Boost. I don't like any of these, so I'll take the random from the top of the deck. Jimbo, you're up. Ooh, I'm never completing that one. Wolf.
I'm going to build. I will use the set a die to any face to set the 4 to a 4. That gives me 9 red, which lets me build a big red and a little red. And I am done.
Walker.
Oh, well. Can you go below 0 points?
Oh, we might start with points.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's possible. No, we start with 0, but you can lose. You can go negative.
Oy. Oh, let's do this. Taking this one, turning it to... Actually, wait, maybe I can make this not hurt so bad. Take this 5. Makes that a 7 for a building action, which is 2 small buildings.
I don't...
Whoa, what happened?
It only...
Oh, that's only
so
orange. I see, that's not any die.
Yes, but if you want it to be orange, you're getting a 3 extra anyway for your existing die. So...
Yeah, no, but I want to do 3 green buildings.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I looked it up. This will affect if you count the die as orange, this bonus will affect it. So if you want it to count as orange, it's a 10.
I do not.
So what color is it?
It is a green, and I pay a white crystal.
You can spend a green instead if you want.
Can you? But this here requires...
because
this card requires...
Whites can always be... Whites are wild. I'm just saying you probably want to spend your normal ones first. But it's up to you.
Yep, you're right. So now it's 7. That's 2 smalls. I'll place them here.
That's a transparent crystal.
And here.
And another trainer. Joe, you're up.
Okay. I want the blue one. And then I put it on my card, and I can flip it to any number. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes. Yes.
Want it be 2, and I want to travel 2.
Okay. That gets you a red crystal in that tent.
So, quick question. That gave me a red gem.
Yep.
And it
red, not purple. There you go.
And it covered my 2 white and a... What is that? 2 white and a card?
That's the symbol for poster, but it just means that's where posters sit. It's not actually it's a little weird.
So I get 2 white gems, but I have 2 white gems already. So do I get $1 in a white gem?
So you get one white gem and $1, yeah. All good?
All good. I'm done.
Okay, I am going to take this. How's my money situation doing? Oh, not terrible. Currently hooked for 7. Yes, I will get one. In fact, okay, so I'm going to take this white 3. I'm going to say that it's blue, and so that gets me a value of 10. I'm going to perform. 10 gets me up here, which means I can satisfy 2 posters. I am going to perform both the Magnificent Alberic and the Magnificent Alberic. That is twice as many Alberics. One night only. So this Alberic gets me a total of $4. So I'll just take a 5. And this Alberic over here gets me a total of 12 points. 9 from the card and 3 from the tent.
But you also have to pay a purple gem, is that correct?
That is indeed correct.
Okay.
Albrecht has his standards. And they both get discarded.
Oof. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
And then I get to rearrange my cards if I want.
These guys get tired out pretty quick.
Well, they perform and then it's complicated.
And then school calls, right? Then they got to go back, right?
Their mom calls them up from the yard. Okay, Jimbo.
I am going to take this blue 4. It is going to act as a 5. I am going to perform. So do I move my existing hat, or do I put in my other hat?
Use your secondary hat if you perform again in the same round.
Go there. I perform once. The Magnificent Suhail gets me $2 and 2 points.
Walker. And now you can rearrange your cards.
All right, I'm taking the 6 purple. It is going here. I'm taking one of my trainers and putting it here. So the 6 is an 8.
It is.
So I put my hat to this 8. And I get to perform 2. Which are the 2 above. The first one gets me $3, and the second one gets me $1, so that's a total of $4.
$4 and 6 points. For a lot of magical armadillos.
Well, it's the cute factor. That's
oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
And that is my turn.
Joe.
I'm going to copy. So if I copy a card that gives me a +2 die, does it become a green dice?
No.
Okay, so I have a.
There's no point in copying that ability.
Okay, so I have a red. I have a red 6 now. If I copy it.
No, because it gives +2 to a green die. That's not a green die. It doesn't give you +2.
Okay.
So you can get $1, or you can set it to whatever side face you want.
I'm going to set it to 6.
Yeah, because that doesn't cost you anything. You're already at 10 for green, so.
And I'm going to build. I am going to build a small red building.
Okay. That's big, by the way.
It said small.
Oh, got in the wrong bag. No, you definitely pulled from the big bag. Notice how it won't go in the small bag.
So how do you track turn order if you're moving your hats around?
We just keep going clockwise.
Gotcha. But it won't be clockwise after this turn.
Oh, sorry. Oh, good question. Jeez.
Well, for now, let's put our hats down here and we'll put them in turn order.
Let me check. Oh no, it's still clockwise. It'll determine the start player, but we play clockwise.
Oh, I see. It's whoever, just the first player. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Joe will be start player going over there.
Is anyone in chat? Has anyone in chat played this Magnificent before?
There you go. That gives you a poster. Looks good to me. Okay, so the round is over. We now proceed to end round shenanigans. The first thing you have to do is you have to pay for your dice. So I have to pay 10 because I've got 7 blue and 3 white.
And I have
So
to
it's
pay
$10
9
for me.
because I've got 9 red.
Yep,
And I am 12.
correct.
And I'm short 1, so I go down 1 point.
I am also short 1.
So you also go down 1 point.
Can you go negative points, or do you just keep bouncing 0?
You can go negative.
Gotcha.
We now, in order, so me first, we get to draft new stuff. Purple build, green square. I'm not a huge fan of any of these. Let's. Did I draft intelligently? No, I did not. Wow, I did not think it was careful. I'm going to take these, so this card and this tile. Next up is Jimbo. Sorry, no. Next up is Walker.
So just 2 very quick questions over here, Mark, on my cards.
Yeah. Which card?
This bottom left one here. This is 6 points per full column.
Completed.
Completed.
Full
okay.
column, yes.
And 1 point per the biggest square, right?
Biggest rectangle of orange.
Oh, and it has to be that color. All right, so I'm going to take 3 points per trainer, of which I have 3, so that would be 9 points.
Hold on, not yet. You're skipping ahead.
Oh,
first
sorry.
You take a new card.
Gotcha. Well, this one.
Yeah, that seems like a good choice for you. You also
Yeah.
get this here trainer.
Oh, they're associated. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Jimbo.
I'm going to take this one.
Okay. And Joe gets the last one.
That seems weird to me that the last place person has to pick last.
Oh, got to perform. People, they're insatiable. Now we each pick a card of the 5 that you have to score. I'm going to score for my biggest blue rectangle. That gives me 12 points. And the card in question goes out of the game. We can leave them next over here.
I scored 9, 3 per trainer.
Jimbo, which would you like to score? Joe, same question.
I'm going to score my cell crystals. I spend $7 and buy 20.
Whoa! Nice. Well done. Well done. Joe, what would you like to score?
I think I want to score my 3 for every crystal.
That doesn't sound right. Huh. That is
Looks like pick one color and score 3 per.
No, because then how could you get 7 times?
I mean, that's how I've been playing the round. So
it's Joe's right. It's per color crystal. I looked it up. So that's 21 points for Joe.
Nice.
Whoosh.
So that goes away?
Yes. But you can clear off the dice first. Send all the dice back to the die area. I have adjusted the markers for the next round. Joe will be the start player. This should be just a while ago. We get new cards in the display.
Where do our discards go?
Just send them over here. It's a pile that we're maintaining.
And we start round 2 of 3, correct?
Yes.
So this means no one in the chat has played the Magnificent before. Has anyone in the chat heard?
Oh yeah, no, we haven't. We have just enough trainer tiles as is intended. Yeah. So away we go.
Did we roll the dice?
No, we didn't. Why would we do that?
Madness.
There we go. Dice. Dice.
I think I'd like to perform.
You were born for the stage, Joe.
Yeah. So I take a green die. And I put it there. And then I spend gems equal to...
Sorry?
Well, I want to perform twice, right? So I have to spend gems to pump my die.
Yeah, you have to get the die to a minimum of 8.
A minimum of 8. So I have to spend...
That'd be 2 gems. Or 1 if you copy the ability here and turn the 5 into a 6.
No, I'm good with the 2 gems.
Okay.
So twice.
Mm-hmm.
I perform once.
So you're only getting the value 7?
Value 4.
Okay.
The great Bronson will perform. So that gets me 4 tickets and $6.
Yeah, 4 points, $6. And you have to spend a green in order for him to perform. Okay. Let's see here.
Can someone give me my victory points?
Sorry, how many?
4, please.
You got it.
And then I move Larissa to the middle stage.
You can, by the way, you can freely rearrange them as you wish.
Okay.
Just as a heads up. Oh jeez, how's this? Okay. I will take this. Well, if the dice had the values I wanted, this would be easier.
So I'm in last place and I get to go last. That's what's happening.
Well, I mean, if it's any consolation, you're complaining, which means that the game must be working right.
Okay then, just checking.
I get a green and a blue for my traveling, And I get the tent, and it ends here. And the tent in question, I wish to here, and that gets me Jimbo.
Okay, 2 seconds.
And can you spend more than one crystal to add?
Absolutely.
So sorry, Mark. What gave you victory points?
I placed a tent on top of a space that gave me victory points.
Yes, okay.
I will gain $1. And then I will spend 2 blue crystals to build. So I get 1 big blue and 1 little blue. And I am done.
I'm going to take this green 5. I put it here, and I think this says I burn a trainer to get a free small green.
Sorry, where? Yes, that is exactly what happens. And you get another trainer.
Trainer back.
Yep.
And that's it. Okay.
Oof, that's a nice setup you got there, Walker. I'm impressed.
I like that. All right, and that was for a travel action of green, which will get me this.
And 2 green and a blue.
Which I will put here.
I'll give you your crystals, and you can take the money.
And it covers up a performer in money. Yes, performer in money.
No, just money. The
performer
poster
just means it goes there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's where the cards go. Joe,
I'm back.
And it's your turn.
So if I wanted to perform again, do I have to go the full height again, or
no? Well, you have to be able to whatever die you use has to get to a threshold that will allow you to perform.
Perfect.
So the minimum threshold is now 6.
I am going to build. I need a large purple, which is 5.
Well, there happens to be a 5 blue available for you. And where would you like it?
That is a very good question. Can I get 2 victory points, please?
Sure. All right, I'm going to build as well. I'm going to take this orange 5. It turns into a 7 because of the card. I will spend a crystal to turn it into 9. That gets me a big and a small. Big.
That's the way to go. That's how I built.
Big and small?
Big and small.
Big and small. I'm
Maybe there's
going
a
to
song
send...
about that. Big and small.
Oh, wow, this is going to be gross. I'm ready for this. I'm going to put
Don't
this...
do it. Don't do this.
Small over here. It's going to be
Mark,
great.
no.
I love it. It gets me a white crystal. And then, as part of building the big, I'm going to cover 7
Mark,
points worth. And I'm going to use 2 assistants to double that. That gets me 14 points.
Why would you do this?
I think I just mentioned that it got me 14 points.
I mean, okay, fair. I mean, okay.
Is that not reason enough?
I mean, I guess that's fair. It's fair. It's
fair. And I put my assistants over, and I'm done.
I am going to go here, which gets me $1, and I am going to hire the Magnificent Luigi. Done.
Walker.
I'm just thinking. So I want to get to 9, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I take this blue 2, which it was. I don't know why it turned. All right, so that's 7, 8. I need one more, so I spend a green to make it a 9.
Mm-hmm.
That gets me a big and a small green, and I'm done.
There are other colors.
No, there are not.
Okay. Let the record reflect there are no other colors.
Okay, here we go.
2 points and a performing card.
Is there a way to get performers without building to get performers?
Yeah, you over here, a trainer and $2.
Sorry, did I make a mistake? Was I not allowed to spend a die to just hire to buy a poster?
No. There are 3 actions: build, travel, and perform. The default way to get posters is to sock away a trainer and spend $2.
Gotcha.
I am going to sock away.
I will have socked away a trainer and spent $2 because I cheated.
There are also poster spaces on all of these traveling wheels, by the way. So.
Oh yes.
The green one is within reach. It's only 3 away.
Will I get that trainer back, or is it gone forever?
It comes back.
Cool.
The way that goes is it goes on the space during your turn, and then at the end of your turn it goes and joins my other trainers up here, and then at the end of the round all the trainers come home.
Cool.
I think I would like to build again. So I'm going to take the red 6.
I hate you.
And I want to build a large building, so that's perfect.
Okay, awesome. In fact, I do. So I'm going to take this red 2. I'm going to turn it into a 1 with the power of the card. That gets me to... Nah, you know what? I'll leave it at the 2. It's worth $1. That gets me... No, it doesn't. I'll set it to 1. That gets me a big. The big one is going to go over here, and that gets me a trainer. In the process, I'm going to sock away one of my trainers to get a white crystal, which just gives me $1. I'm done.
I'm going to take this blue 2. It acts as a blue 3, so that gives me blue 8. And I'm going to perform with 2 dudes. I will sock away a trainer so that one of them can ignore 1 building. So both the Magnificent Kimura and the Magnificent Luigi will perform together for the first time. I get 11 points.
The game is called The Magnificent.
Seven. I got these snap points.
I know.
Joe's at 26. It won't let me put his thing back on the... And
all right, well, I'll just put the counter to 26 to represent that.
$6.
I'll take care of it. Oh, no point. Well done.
And I am the done.
Walker.
I'm going to build. Gets me to 4, which is enough for a small red. Which will
Mark.
get me a crystal.
Can we move our performers around? And is there an action for us to do that?
Not really. You can move your performers around by socking away a trainer when you do the perform action, or after you do a perform action. So immediately before or after a perform action, before costs you a trainer to do so.
Okay. So I would like to do that. I would like to move my performers around.
Okay, so the first thing you do is you take a die and declare you're doing the performer action.
Okay. I just need to see what number I need to get to.
Yeah, I was trying to get.
I guess I will take a blue die.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to puzzle out a way to get.
Which puts me at 7.
To 9 build, so I could get the 2 red buildings. Could not do it, though.
And then 2 purple gems puts me at 11.
Okay. So you're going to stop at 10?
Yep.
Okay. That's 2 performances.
Yeah, 2 performances. So Larissa and Luigi are going to perform. No, I can't do. I have to suck away a trainer for that, right? In order to move.
Yes. In order to rearrange the cards, I will move the trainer.
There we go. So Luigi and Larissa are going to perform together. I can't. Super frustrated, so I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So Kimura is
you
going.
don't have enough buildings.
I don't. Yeah.
Kimura and Larissa.
No, I don't have the jewels anymore. Oh, I can use white.
Yeah, you can use white to sub in.
So I will. Luigi and Larissa will perform together using 2 green and 2 white. And that will get me 16 tickets and $6.
Oh, nice.
Plus another 5 tickets, and I have to discard a white. So 21 and $9. Correct?
Hold on. So Larissa and Kimura, these 2?
No.
Okay, yeah. So yes, that's 7. That's 9. That's $9.
You only have 1 large blue, though, Joe.
Yeah, you can't do both of those.
Okay.
You can do Kimura and Larissa. That's about it.
Okay, so I'll do Kimura and Larissa.
Okay. So if you discard the gem, which I believe you did, you will get 16 points total.
Okay. And 2, 5, $7.
I count 6. 2 from here, 2 from here, and 2 from here. Because you're not doing this one.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so $6.
Yeah. And then you can rearrange your cards again.
And if I could interject for a minute, I think we have a stream first. We were raided by the Scrappy Kid. Thanks for coming, guys.
Kid. They
Nice
just finished playing Tobago. I was watching them before we started.
Nice.
He does a stream where he has no idea how to play the game, and he starts by starting to click and figure it out. He does that once a month. Called Chaos Cardboard, I believe he calls it.
Wow, that sounds stressful.
This game is called The Magnificent.
All right, so I'm going to go here. That gets me $1. I'm declaring that I'm going to perform. I'm declaring that the white die is red. That gets me to a starting value of 8. I need to get to a mighty 12. So that's 2 additional gems, one of which will be red and one of which will be clear. That gets me to 12 successfully. That means I can perform 3 times, but I'm only going to perform twice because those are cards that I have. We're going to have the Magnificent Luigi and the Magnificent Suhail. Suhail costs me an extra gem.
Suhail never loved you.
Suhail and me, we go way back. He stood up for me at my wedding. And that gets me, in order to satisfy this tent, I need to spend a white gem, which I do. So all told, I get 6 from Luigi, another 6 from Suhail, and 7 from the tent, which is 19 points and $5.
I really like the tent mechanic because it sort of lets you choose your, like you can go for lower scoring tents for safety, like I did, or you can choose the ones where you spend crystals for more points. I realize it's not anything special. I just think it's fun. Like you can sort of try to chart your own scoring course.
You're up, Jimbo.
Yeah, so we do sort of a stream like you. So Mark plays the game and pantses us while we fiddle around and try to figure out how to play.
This is unfair and untrue. I will have you know that I've never worn pants.
So if I use a white die and I declare it red, it adds to red for the purposes of whatever I want, in this case, building?
Yes, for this action, but in future it will add to nothing. It benefits from the pre-existing dice, but it will contribute nothing.
Cool. All right. So in that case, I'm going to grab...
Insert joke about white privilege here.
This white die. I'm going to use it to set this red die to 6.
No, you can only change the die that you're placing on that card.
Sadness.
And the poor white dice goes back.
Slinks home.
In shame. It knows what it did. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Is it fine? Can I afford that? Probably not. Poop. Oh, poop. I'm going crazy.
Could have told you that.
I'm going to grab this die. It is going to turn itself to a 3. I'm going to travel 1, 2, 3, getting a red gem and a green gem. And I am going to pick up this poster announcing the performance of Kimura.
I'll believe it when I see it. You promise much.
And I am the done. One of the things that I'm finding fascinating about this mod is that the dice show up different for different people. Like on Walker's screen, the blue dice are purple and translucent, and on my dice, they're blue and wooden.
Crazy.
Oh, that would account for some of the color matching issues. That's so bizarre. Oh yeah, they do look purple on Walker's monitor.
Yeah, it's quite odd. I wonder if it's a host thing.
Well, that I've just been having. Remember, I've had that where the recording's really dark. I just think I have a color. Anyway.
Well, no, I think it's supposed to be, right? Because the gems are purple. You have the correct color die. The rest of us don't have it.
Gotcha.
We're the ones living in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
So, Mark, I have a question. These multipliers here on the performances, that's just how many performances you can do. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So there's no reason for me to go any higher than where I'm at.
Correct.
So I will go here and perform my one performance, which is the Magnificent Bronson. He will get me 11 points after I spend 2 green crystals.
Honestly, Walker, I mean, I respect your dedication to armadillo empowerment, but eventually people are going to get tired of this guy.
Lies. Don't listen to him, Bronson. He knows not what he says.
Isn't that your third Bronson? Isn't this the mythical triple Bronson?
Have you ever tried
what has he got left?
An armadillo? That was a lot of work.
Wow. Yeah, at this point, it's a cat in a costume. He doesn't have the heart to tell everyone that Bronson ate it a while ago. He was found in Denver in a hotel room with a needle in his arm. Okay, so that's the end of the round. Yeah. So first you've got to pay for everything. I have to pay 8.
I have to pay 7?
That is correct, Joe. You must pay 7.
I was 4 short, so I go down 4 points.
No, we're in round 2. You go down 8 points.
I go down another 4 points.
You gotta pay your performers, Walker.
That armadillo doesn't come cheap.
Chicken feed. Huh?
Is that what armadillos eat? I don't know anything about armadillos.
They eat anything once they get hungry.
Oh man!
Wow.
Then I might have a solution to your labor problem.
Should the rest of us get together and maybe petition an investigation into Walker's practices here?
I tried to avoid Walker whenever possible. Once I made eye contact, and it didn't end well.
These are words that hurt.
So you know what hurts? Stuffing a cat into an armadillo costume, making it jump through flaming hoops. You monster.
Walker proceeded to shout nothing but "Are you threatening me?" for 3 consecutive hours. It was impressive.
I've seen that video.
Now we draft cards against my better judgment. Oh, that's going to give me... No. Yeah. I would like to get... Oh, yeah, totally. I want this card.
Can I have my trainer back?
Yeah, you get your trainer. You get all your trainers back. Well, all the ones that you already were entitled to, that you had spent. Okay, so I drafted my card. Next up is Joe. What card would you like? Card/tile.
Does Weeping Uncontrollably a card?
No, but I find it's a great way to get a date.
Heyo!
Nice.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. I find it's the only way I can get a date. Let me rephrase that. It always prefaces my appearance in court.
Wow.
And you know what works well in front of judges? Weeping uncontrollably.
I find wetting yourself while weeping uncontrollably to be the best.
I'll defer to your experience.
I wanted that card. Sadness. Oh well.
Walker, Jimbo, you're next up.
I will refer to my gym class experience.
I've had some years of gym class.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yep.
Yeah, you get those. Oh, nice. That's going to be great for you, Walker.
Yeah, I already have.
Yeah.
Them, so
yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I would have felt way too bad drafting that out from under you.
Well, I mean, if you took something that's good for you, then it all works out.
I did. I think I did.
Now
I believe it's a number of victory points equal to your place on the performance track.
Well, remember, you don't have to score that one. You can score any one of your 5.
Yes. Yes.
I can fill these up again, Mark, I'm assuming? Yeah.
There's no point. We're not going to be drafting again.
Oh, you're right. This is the last and final round.
It's the last and final.
Na 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 na.
No.
Don't know which.
It's already done, Joe. You can't stop it.
I am going to score this one for 12 points.
Oh, yeah, so I only get half points, Jimbo, for that. That's okay,
Why?
though.
Why do you only get half points?
Well, because I'm only going to score 2, and I already have 2 of those, and I have this one that's going to get me 20.
Yeah, so it's only going to score half because he already has something else that's going to score him more. Is his complaint?
Yeah, that's what I said. Sorry, is my microphone working?
Sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of my heart bleeding for you.
Yeah, everybody score one of your cards.
Done and done.
Mark, how does my bottom right card score?
Hold on. Seriously, Joe? Seriously. It is 2 points for the sum total of your white dice at the end of the round. So if you got a sum total of 5 value of white dice, you get 10 points.
Perfect.
While you're answering inane questions, the scoring for my upper right card.
Just to specify, the question wasn't inane. It was just presented in an obnoxious manner.
Sorry. It's 1 point for every max colored die that pairs with a white die of any value?
No, what you do is it's the highest total of one color plus the total of your white.
Oh, that's way.
In other words, it's exactly the same as what you're going to have to pay in income.
Yeah.
At the end of the round.
Well,
it works out the same.
Guess I should have done that on the first turn. Oh well.
Joe's card is just for his white, but it's 2 points per.
Right.
So,
right.
So if I
take nothing but white, and it would just be the same as taking nothing but the same color.
It's a max 20, though.
Yeah, mine I guess technically doesn't max out, so I could score 24 if I paid 24.
Yeah, you did much better the first round when you just bought points.
Yeah.
All right.
$1 for every 3 points. That just how could I not?
So we are heading into the final round. The start player is your friend and mine, Michael Walker. And as a reminder, at the end of the game, I think everyone's internalized this. You will score one of your cards for full, one of your master cards for full. The remaining master cards will score for half rounded down. And then a point for every $5 you've got. And,
is there any way to build buildings of 2 separate colors at the same time?
Yes. This space over here for for each trainer you devote allows you to change the color of a building you're about to build.
Awesome. Thank you. You're a hero and a scholar.
So yes, I need to get to 9. So
you need nothing. Good day, sir.
6, 7, 8.
He said good day.
And a red gem makes 9, which is a large and a small. And I have to put a trainer here. Small, large. And what are the rules for putting these things on my board?
Would you like to define what thing is?
These 2 pieces. Can I just put them anywhere on my... Oh, it's for everyone that have completely failed. I'll get points.
And you have to place buildings orthogonally connected to already placed buildings.
Gotcha.
Suhail is not going to walk to his dressing room. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Whoa.
The Magnificent Suhail has standards.
So this will get me a card. And this will get me 3 points.
All right. Done?
Yes.
Joe.
I'm to build. I need a small blue.
Oh, crud.
The regret sets in.
Joe, you done?
I am done.
Okay. I'm also going to build. I'm going to take this over here. That turns into a 7. That gets me 2 smalls. The first small is going to... There we go. It's going to go over here. I'm going to do my incredibly abusive sock away 2 trainers and double the value of something. And that gets me 2 poster cards and 2 trainers, also known as the trailer shuffle. Trainer. And I'm sorry, it will take me a moment to figure out which cards I'm.
It's all
I
good.
need to cross-reference what I can actually satisfy.
Should I point out the ones that I'm planning to take so you can snap them out from under me?
Sure. I assume you wanted this Albert card.
Yeah, I did.
I'm also going to use a trainer to get a clear crystal because Alberic loves him the crystals.
We're not allowed to talk about that habit, okay? He was very specific in his contract.
Sorry. And definitely not. Maybe some more Alberic, I guess. And then I get to place another building, which is also going to be a small orange. And I can't use to plug anything, so it's going to go over here, and that gets me 3 points, and I'm done.
Me?
Yes. Sorry about that.
Nope, it's all good. Go here, get a coin, build a small blue, and I am done. Let's make 2 more coins.
Walker.
I would like this to go here. That makes it a green 5, which makes me 1 large building. I take this one.
Nice.
It doesn't matter, so it doesn't fill the square or anything, but yes.
It fills the other one.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Fills
And
your
it leaves you in a very good place to fill this other one. But anyway, is that it?
That is it for my turn, yes.
Cool. Joe.
Mark, before it's your turn, would you tell me what this does?
When traveling, it doubles the tent bonus. If you get a tent and you cover something on your board, it doubles the bonus you get for the thing you're covering.
Awesome. Thank you.
Crap.
Hold on. I take the 4 green and I move and I travel 4 spaces.
That's 2 green and a purple and the tent.
I just fail. I need another large red.
Well, that's what I was going
to. Guess I'll have to use. Oh, Mark, this here.
Yes.
This 2 trainers. Does that just give you an extra when you do a build action, an extra large building?
Yes. I think it's large. It looks large.
All right, that's what I will do then.
Yes.
Large.
Yes, a chonkers in architectural terms.
Mm-hmm. But not quite a heckin' great chunkers. We do have standards.
I will take this 3 green. I will turn it into a 4 by placing it here. Sorry, I will turn it into a 5. And I get 1 of each color other than clear, and this. as well as performer, and I will turn it into $2. And I will just look at my performers available to me. Suhail it is.
You.
Sorry. And then you're up, Jimbo.
Right, gonna go here. Turn it into a 6. Then I'm gonna spend 2 red crystals to pump it up to a 10. That lets me build a small and a large orange. The large orange gets me a trainer, and the small orange gets me a poster, which will be the Magnificent Luigi.
So
I'm done.
splendid. Walker.
I guess I can. What are the chances that I'll get what I need? Is the question.
0%.
I know, right? Exactly 0%. Well, there's lots of big dice up there, so I might as well just gamble it. I'm going to do a travel action. Let's see, I want to land on something that'll let me draw off the top. So I'll take this red 1. No. Purple 3. No, you don't get to choose which one you move. Mike, you don't get to do that.
Yeah. Remember, though, you can sock a trainer to move them, let them move counterclockwise rather than clockwise.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't change the color, though.
No.
3.
But a white can be any color you want it to be.
Yeah, no, I don't want to lose that many victory points. I just want to move the green 3. I'll take the green.
Okay.
Even though it will mean $3 more. That's okay. Green 3.
So that's up to 7.
Oh, I guess I'll take a bunch of gems then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a green, 2 green and red.
And 2 posters? 3 posters. Snapping up all the venues.
So I can just draw. How does that work? I thought it was only if you landed on a poster you got it, but it's even.
No. Tents.
Oh, tents.
Tents are only if you land on them. Posters, if you pass over them, you're good. Anything from the display and or the top of the deck.
Just one, or you said 3 of them? No way.
3, but one at a time. Some of these are not armadillos, Walker. Joe, you're up.
Okay. I need the green 1.
Actually, Walker, strictly speaking, you needed to draw them one at a time to decide where they were going. But
is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal.
Draw 3, pick 1, or.
Nope. No. You get all of them, but you get them one at a time.
I build one green building and I'm done.
Okay. I would like to take this blue 3. I will put it over here. I get a white crystal. And I'm going to build a Pequeño blue. And the Pequeño blue is going to go over here, and I'm done.
All right. I'm going to take this one red here. It's going to function as a 2. With my other red, that's 8. I'm going to perform I'm going to spend a trainer so that Luigi will not need her green trailer. That gets me a total of 15, 21 points.
Woof.
66. And... uh-oh. No money. Uh-oh.
Money's overrated.
Oh, poop.
Jimbo, are you in this for the crass commercialism, or are you in this for the art?
I'm in it for the art, but I like to pay my artists a living wage. Can I?
You're not a very good artist then.
Can I spend a second trainer to do whatever this does, which I think just gets me an extra 2 points?
Nope.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah. You can do that. Total.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you'd already used a worker because there's no plus. You can't use multiples. But
right, and I'm writing that it's just 1 extra point for every performance you successfully put on. Correct?
Yes, it is a borderline insult. What's like your face?
I heard that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Walker.
All right, I'm also performing. I will take a purple die to do so. I only need to get to... I need to get to 10. I have a +2 over here.
And then 1 crystal will do you.
So 6. Why does it always change the value of the die? So weird.
I don't know.
6, 7, 8. I need 2 crystals for that, do I not?
Well, it's already 8, and you need to get to 10, so you need 1 crystal. Crystal's
+2. Oh.
Yeah.
So performance.
Purple or white?
And then I'll pay the green and the red now. And puts me to 10. And I'm performing these 2 here, so it is a total of 20 points, please.
Very nice. Joe.
And 5 money.
Okay. I would like that 4 white.
Okay.
To become.
4 white.
I just took it.
Oh, there you go.
Which I would like to be a 4 red.
Okay. So it's an 8 red. Now it's 10 red. Now it's 12 red.
And I would like to perform twice. And that gets me both of my people, I believe.
Probably. So you spend you have to spend the extra crystals.
Yeah, hold on though. I spend my trainer to my guys around.
Sure. So that'll cost you a white, a blue, and 2 green.
A white, a blue, and 2 green.
Yep. And that nets you a total of 22 points and $7. I will give you your point.
That is correct.
There's your money. Mark, I have a quick question about that last thing with this.
Well, it is my turn, so it is the time to ask me a question. Yes.
Well, I just wanted this space over here. The last spot I took, which is burn the trainer for the map piece. Does it have to be an unused trainer, or can I
burn the trainer for what?
Burn the trainer for a map piece. This one here.
Unused.
Unused. Okay.
Unused, and then it goes out of the game.
Okay.
Alrighty. Marcus, figure out how he's going to get to 14 on the performer track.
Carefully?
Well, it's 80 the way, so I'll take the blue because that's cheaper. So that is 8. I need to get to 14. I'm 6 shy. I'm going to spend all 3 of these. Yep. I just start. If I spend all of these crystals plus 1 dude, then I'm good. That gets me to perform all 3 of my things. Before I forget, I'm going to sock away 2 of my 2 remaining trainers onto my get money space. So that gets me 4 money.
Can I put trainers on that space?
No. Then I succeed in all my performances. 12, 18, 21, and 14 is 35 points. And $6. That is it for me, Jimbo. Oh, and let me put my hat where.
I'm going to take this blue 5. Gets me a coin. I'm going to build. I have 8 blue, so I'm going to build 2 small blue. Not happy about how this is going to look, but you know, you do what you got to do.
And sometimes there's some rough Tetras. What do you want?
And then 1 more of these, which gets me. Is there any penalty to having unused performers?
None.
Sorry, unused posters? Okay.
Oh, right.
That gets me $2 more. And I get some posters that I won't get to play, so I'm just going to take the armadillo, because the armadillo is adorable. And Kenora, because she's done me very well this whole time. Done!
Okay. Is that it for everybody?
Yes.
All right, we draft a card. We only care about scoring. So I have 4, 7. So I've maxed that out. That's 21 points. Much less. Much less. I am going to take this card. Next up is Joe. What card would you like?
Damn you, Joe. Not that
That's
I
it.
scored anyway.
I was going to say, it's the only one that scores me points, man.
Next up is Walker.
This is performers of different color.
Completed
I'm sorry, Mark. You
cut out.
Oh, did we lose Mark at the very last second?
I think we did.
All right, I'll draft.
Well, hold on a second, Walker.
There he is.
Is that
I'm back.
completed performers?
Completed performers of the same color.
Oh, same color.
Yeah.
Mark, have you drafted already?
Oh, sorry, no, of the same name. So not of the same color, but the same name, because there are ones with the same color but different name. So again, armadillos. Yes, I already have drafted. I drafted first. And Jimbo gets the one that's left. Sorry, we should have done this sooner, but you have to pay for your dice.
Yeah, so it's the highest.
Yeah, so you owe 7, Walker.
Yeah, I have 6. So I'm 1 short.
Okay.
So and your white die too, right?
Yes. So you, Joe, owe 9.
Yeah.
Last round is 3 points.
Yeah, it's 1 point per the round. Okay. I'm going to score one of my 3 points per trainer. I have 7 trainers, so I get 21 points.
You have 7 trainers? Well done.
I trained my trainers. It's then the trainers, they train more trainers, and it's just trainers all the way down.
I'm scoring my 4 times number of small greens, which is 20 points.
I am scoring my 7 points for completed row. I have 3 rows. That's 21 points.
Very nice.
Very nice, Jimbo. I am going to score 3 green buildings at 3 points apiece for 9.
Okay. All right, it is the end of the game. Let us now proceed to the end game scoring. First and most mathily, your 4 remaining MasterCards score at half rounded down.
Oh, you score all of them.
Was I not?
I'm very sorry. No, I'm very sorry.
I went to great pains.
I thought it
great
was
pains.
You got to score 1 more. Okay.
No. Great pains. The pains, they were great. Someone back me up here, please. No dice. Oh.
No, there's lots of dice. But yes, you did say that you get to score all of them. I remember that.
If you have any questions about how one scores, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, walk me through mine.
Hold on, let me finish this one that I was scoring. All right, Joe. So this one here is 6 points per completed row. You don't
0.
have any. This one is 8 points flat, so you get 4. That is 2 points per the total sum of your white. So that's another 4 after it's halved. And this is 5 points per performer that you've completed with the same name.
Larissa times 2.
Okay, so that's 5 points for your Larissas, and then 4 and 4.
13.
So you get 13. 13 total from your endgame score.
And this one here, Mark, is my position on the performance track.
Yes.
And the other one is, would it be this entire block of red here?
No, it's the biggest rectangle that you can make. So one of your 2 buildings.
Okay.
So it's a block of 3 by 2. So you get 6 points halved, which is 4 points per different poster, which is not going to have a whole bunch of Elbrick. He was a reliable guy.
Did someone move my blue marker?
No.
I did. Sorry. You should be there.
I want to go back to where I was. I want to count from where you put me.
No?
Has everyone scored all their cards?
Yes, sir.
You now get points for leftover money.
Ha!
1 point for every $5 you have.
Yeah, sure, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, and then you get 4 points for every block that you've completely filled on your player mat. Walker, I gotta say, your rapacious building is impressive.
4, right?
I believe that sounds about right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you have 4 complete blocks. Precious close to a 5th. And that, gentleman, is the Magnificent.
Good game, everybody. Good game.
Thank you for the drafting of the dice and the performance of the performer.
It was magnificent. My armadillos were magnificent.
I mean, I was a big fan of your armadillos. So was the crowd.
So what other
Yes,
games
Joe?
did this designer put out, Mark, again?
There's not much of a pedigree here. This is a small company called Aporta. And it was designed by Eilif Svensson and Christian E. Ostby. I'm probably getting those vowels wrong. And yeah, I don't know of anything else they've done.
No, I like it.
I like it too. As I say, I get a strong Pulsar 2849 vibe, but it's a little bit faster and cleaner.
It'd be a lot more fun live.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I was getting names mixed up. Christian Amundsen Osby has a long pedigree. Santa Maria, Escape the Curse of the Temple, a whole bunch of other stuff. Capital Lux more recently, but I haven't played that. I'm sorry, I must have been getting the names mixed up. And as for Eilif Svensson, also again a long pedigree. Santa Maria as well. He co-designs with Osby a whole bunch. Mangrovia, yeah. Sorry, long-time Euro designers we're talking about here. My sincere apologies to both of those fine, talented individuals.
All right, so that was magnificent. We are so very wrong about games. We have a weekly podcast. Check it out if you are so inclined. We stream here every Saturday at 10:30. We have not set the game for next week, but check out our board game guild number 3236, where I announce what game we're going to be playing on Saturdays. Thank you for tuning in. Say goodbye, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Goodbye.
Ciao.